guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Stephanie with Chubby Girl in the World and new hair. Who dis? I am so excited to have chopped off all of the blonde and just be rid of it. I am so happy. It takes so much less time to get ready. But anyway, that's a totally different story we'll talk about later. If you are as excited about today's video as I am, so if you, for some reason, clicked on this without reading the title, we are talking about how to dress like a K-pop star if you are plus size. Now, K-pop stars are usually not plus size. They're very, Korean. If you don't know what K-pop is, it's Korean pop music. And there's not a lot of people, just like our pop music, there's not a lot of people in K-pop who have any kind of body diversity. Well, K-pop kind of genres are really interesting to me because they kind of go the gambit from very, very sporty and like avant-garde to like schoolgirl to really, really sexy and like over the top kind of performance wear. And I love it. And I thought, well, let's create in this Sunday style guide how and where you would find some K-pop inspired outfits. So if you're into that, stay tuned. Okay, so one of the really big groups is called Blackpink. So like Blackpink, I think there's one called Twice, and then there's a ton of other K-pop groups. But one of the trends, like you'll see here, it's gonna pop up on the screen, is very kind of like bright neon-y colors, plaids, and like a lot of what I would call Clueless inspired looks too. And even though Jasmine J from BuzzFeed is not a K-pop star, I still think she's a star, and she rocks neon just so well. And this is just an example of how you could rock these trends, and she does it so perfectly. So from the neon to the crop top to the chunky shoes with the really like feminine skirt, all of those things are so they're just scream K-pop, and it's really cool. And I just love that she puts together these avant-garde outfits, and she's always really daring with her looks, and she's so fashion forward, and I love it. But let's say you're not ready for quite the full K-pop look. Maybe you just want a K-pop inspired look. I got you. So here at this is Rebdolls. So on rebdolls.com, you can shop for your size, and they have all the sizes, I think from 0 to 32. So, oh, sorry, I hit the camera. This is it's an unbranded right below windbreaker pullover. It's in this really beautiful neon yellow green. And then they also have like a long sleeve neon tail t-shirt too. So this mixed, like just like she's wearing, mixed with track pants, very, very reminiscent of K-pop. Another very K-pop inspired trend would be kind of like the sporty dresses with the mesh like insets. And this one is from Shein, and it's only $15, and I think that's pretty awesome. And right next to that is kind of like the sort of like the racing stripe dress. Now, granted, when you see this on a K-pop star, it usually says Fendi across the top. One, Fendi doesn't make my size, and two, I'm not paying thousands of dollars for a jersey dress. Like I'm not gonna do it. So that's from Shein. And then also at Rebdolls is a bargaining chip, which I think is kind of hilarious, ruffled crop top. So you'll see this a lot on like K-pop stars too. This is kind of more the sporty sort of girly look, and a crop top with like matching sets are really popular in kind of like the K-pop look too. So you're always gonna kind of focus on like the bright colors, like the reds, the blues, the yellows. It's usually not very muted. Say you wanted something kind of summery and something a little bit more girly, like a little bit more flowy, you could do something like this, also from rebdolls.com. It kind of has like the pink Bardot top, but it's a little like looser, and it has a really sort of how can I say this? It has kind of like a girly, sort of really feminine, kind of bubblegummy, like bubblegum pop sort of feel to it, right? And then there's a yellow sort of crossbody wrap over the shoulder peplum top. And peplum tops seem to be really popular among the K-pop crowd too, especially again in these bright, bold colors. Now, this is really interesting. One of these dresses is not K-pop inspired, but I had to include it because I just thought it was such a really cool mixture of so many different sorts of styles. So at Sierra Blue Fashion, who is a fantastic brand, and their clothing is so it's made so well. The fabric is made well, everything's made very well. They actually were nice enough to help me do a giveaway on my channel before, and that's back when I had like 10 subscribers. So this is a brand who actually cares about small influencers. Well, I wouldn't call myself an influencer, but small creators, and cares about, just like, they really care about this actual community, and they've taken a lot of feedback, and they've made their site easier to navigate, and they're doing really cool avant-garde dresses for plus size women. So this one, called the Nora, I feel like this is such a cool mixture of sort of Latin inspired, almost Frida Kahlo-ish, and then also Native American and African inspired prints. They kind of took all of those ideas and sort of meshed them in together in one dress. You would think that that wouldn't really work. Honestly, I think this dress is like a bit much. I wouldn't wear it on like the everyday, but if I had like a fashion show to go to, I would probably wear that dress. Speaking of fashion shows, the Portland, I think the Portland Plus Size Fashion Show is coming up in October, and so I am super stoked about hopefully getting to go. So the K-pop inspired dress in this duo is the Neon Stripes bodycon dress. So we've got neon, bodycon, and like the little poof sleeves, all very, very reminiscent of K-pop idols. So you don't have to be left out of the K-pop trend. You can rock any of these things and look like a superstar. And I'm so excited about that. I'm so excited about like just seeing people be able to rock these really trendy things and getting into this moment in fashion where it's really been democratized. So now the like the kind of more sporty looks are a little, I would say a little bit more easier. This is like model off-duty sort of look. And the K-Swiss, what do they call this? The K-Swiss pullover. It is, oh, I thought this was a dress, but I guess it's a pullover and a skirt. And they have like, at Forever 21, if you go to the plus curve section, they have a lot of these kind of sporty things, and like the K-Swiss graphic tee. I believe Forever 21 only carries up to 3X. So, and sometimes you really do with like Forever 21 and Shein and Boohoo and all those places, you really have to look at the sizing chart and know your measurements, and because one brand's 3X is another brand's like 1X, and sometimes like Old Navy is the exact opposite, where like if you're a normal 3X, you're going to be like, you know, a 2 or a 1 at Old Navy, depending on your dimensions. So just know your measurements. It's very easy. Just go to any like craft store or any just go to any craft store or any, like, even I think a dollar store has like a little sewing kit where you'll have like a little tape measure, and that way you can know your sizes. You should know your bust size, your waist, and your hips, and usually your inseam too. So the inseam is from your hip to your knee is usually what I measure as an inseam, because my legs are so short, but some people will only do from their hip to like the middle of their thigh. It just really depends on how you're built. But anyway, So the next category is glam. Like these are pieces and of fashion and just amazing glam, wonderful, beautiful things. Like this is stuff that you would never wear on the everyday. I mean, unless you live a paparazzi life, and if you do, we need to talk. But if you are just someone who you really want like that one special piece for a special event, you're gonna have a birthday dinner, you're gonna have a girls weekend in Vegas, you're gonna go out and do it up. These pieces are what that's for. So this photo was the inspiration. This is again Blackpink. So a lot of sequins, a lot of like intricate, really a lot of intricate looks, and mostly shiny because when you're performing, having like the light hit you in different ways and being able to basically catch the eye is going to help people pay attention during your performance. But picking it up right now. Sequin top from a brand called Rotita, so Rotita. Now I did notice that when I was browsing the Rotita.com website that they had a lot of the same pieces as Modlily. So I'm not sure if it's just that these little kind of boutique sites, I don't know if they're all affiliated or if they are run independently, but they all kind of purchase from the same manufacturer. So I'm not sure which one that is. But this I found on Rotita.com. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a one shoulder, like kind of glitter sequin top. And, well, actually it's not, it's off the shoulder. One is off the shoulder. And it is beautiful. If you paired this with like rose gold makeup look and some neutral like lip, like or like a pinky lip, it would be so beautiful, and you would just look so polished and put together. And this is something that you could even, it's not so over the top that you couldn't wear it to like an office party or a cocktail hour or something like that if you had a really nice pair of pants. The model here is just wearing jeans. I don't think that I would pair it with jeans unless I was going to like brunch or something like that. So this is from Venus.com. I have slept on Venus.com for a long time. Like I've known about them, but there's a couple of things that I've wanted from them, but I've never purchased from them. So I can't really speak to the quality, but the concepts, I am thirsting for this. This is it doesn't have a description, but it is a blazer. Looks like a blazer. I think it's a blazer. No, it's not a blazer. No, it's a peplum top. Apparently I don't know what things are anymore. It's a peplum top that is black sequins, and it's got the like kind of silk piping. I don't know if it's probably not actual silk, it's probably satin. And because this is absolutely gorgeous, and this would look so good on like every skin tone. Like this kind of really blackest of blacks looks so good on almost every skin tone. It does look good on every skin tone. You can't go wrong with black. And this is really one of those sort of power pieces. So if you were someone who was interviewing for a creative position, if you were someone who was interviewing for a magazine, like a fashion magazine article, this would be the thing that I would wear. Like that would be the time I would take the chance to do it. Or again, like parties, cocktail hours, whatever. Like it'd be more, okay, to be honest, I probably would wear this in my everyday life just because I'm extra. I probably would. I can't lie to you beautiful little cupcakes. I can't. I would do it. So the next sort of over-the-top duo we have is from Shein, and there is a $25 like cape dress where basically it's just if you've ever watched Game of Thrones where Daenerys wears like those cape dresses where the what would be the sleeves are just like these super long pieces of fabric just kind of trail behind you. That's what this is. And I'm not gonna lie, I I almost bought it. Like I have an extra $25. In my head I was like, I have an extra $25 kicking around. I could buy this. And I was like, when would you ever wear this? So again, if I had like a girls' weekend planned, or if I had if I had like I was gonna do a lookbook haul or something like that, then I would do that. But I have opinions about doing like hauls about that, and like kind of that's a whole different conversation. But anyway, I just love the look of this. I think it's fantastic. Again, this is one of those kind of like power moves. If you are Miranda from The Devil Wears Prada, like I think she actually does wear this. I think this is one of like the things she wears. But if you are that person, if you aspire to be that power person, or even if you just want to like cosplay as someone like that, this would be great. This would be perfect. The next thing is this sort of kind of like lingerie inspired baby doll sort of thing. And that's also really popular in sort of K-pop fashion, where it kind of looks like lingerie, but it covers up just enough. And I mean, it's fine. It's not as exciting to me as like the power suit. And it's interesting. I've noticed that as I've gotten older, like really skimpy revealing clothing doesn't really, I don't know, it doesn't make me, there's nothing wrong with it, but it just doesn't interest me as much. But I can understand somebody who's a lot younger than me, you know, for the first time is like kind of coming into their own, and you know, they sort of want to show off everything, and like I get it, but it's not exciting to me. So the next thing that's just kind of like over the top glam is the rolling. So I don't know how these guys are not having copyright infringement because that's the Rolling Stone logo. Like it just is. It's the Rolling Stones dress. I'm gonna call it the Rolling Stones dress, and I have no idea how they're getting away with this. But would I buy it for $15? Probably. Like this is something that I feel like is really extra, but you could also get away with like wearing it to the movies, wearing it out, wearing it on errands, and like depending on how you styled it, if you style it with sneakers, you could like tone it down. If you put on some, you know, really high heels, you could also take this to an event. So it just really depends on the styling and like how you do your hair and your makeup and like, you know, what it is. So I feel like for $15, like that's a pretty good deal. I think I just talked myself into buying. The one thing that would keep me from doing it is that it has no structure, and because I'm very apple shaped, I usually tend to like a very defined waist, because if I don't have a garment that defines my waist, then basically my little belly defines everything, and I don't necessarily like letting my belly be in charge. You know what I mean? I don't. So that's the only thing that would probably keep me from doing it, but I love the design. Now, this the dress right next to it is much more of a sort of sporty, casual look, and would be very reminiscent of what in the K-pop world is called airport fashion. And that's like really chic, comfortable clothing, but is designed to look put together. Especially with the little like fanny pack and crossbody bag. Those are extremely popular, not only in K-pop, but you see them a lot in like the K-pop fashion world. Now, the inspiration for the kind of like girly, preppy look is this really pretty, every time, this really pretty pink button-down dress. It almost looks like a tennis skirt. So I couldn't find anything that exactly matched this. However, we're gonna dupe the vibes of this. So what we're looking for is soft, girly, you know, really kind of feminine feeling. And I found this on Simply Be. It is a, what is it? I found this dress on Simply Be. It is very expensive. It was like $122. However, this particular brand, whose name is escaping me exactly at this moment, it is a Johanna Hope sequin blouson dress, and it retails for $122.49. Now, I almost owned a Johanna Hope dress, and the reason I say I almost owned one was because I bought it. It was beautiful and perfect. It was the perfect pinky pale dress. It was wonderful. One problem. They forgot to remove the stupid magnetic tag from the dress. So my choice was, dang it. So my choice was to either go into a store and say like, no, really, I bought this dress. Can you remove the tags for me? Even like with my receipt, it wasn't like, what store would do that? Like, no, of course they're not going to. Or I could send it back for a full refund. And what I wanted them to do was I wanted to send it back, have them take it off, and send it back to me. But the shipping would have been insane, and they didn't want to do that. So I was so mad because the dress was on sale and it was so perfect, and I loved every single thing about that dress, and I'm still really salty about it. Simply Be, whatever. But all the other interactions I've had, all the other like orders I've placed, like I've never run into a problem. It was a one-off thing. But my point was that dress was from that brand, and the material was fantastic. It was like a cotton poly rayon blend, and normally sometimes those are really, really scratchy. The one that I experienced was not at all. It was just smooth, no snags, and it had like a mesh overlay to the dress and a lot of detailing. And usually when that happens, like sometimes the fabric, like if you like brush your arm around it, it'll be kind of scratchy. I did not experience that at all with this brand. So even though this dress is $122 and it really would be an investment piece, you'd have to think really long and hard about it. Like, do you like this pattern? Do you like this color? This is a dress that you would be able to wear to work, wear to date night, wear to a concert, but you would, like, again, you'd really have to think about, you know, how often do you wear dresses? Are you going to wear this? You know, how many uses do you think you'd get out of it over its useful life? So you really have to think about that before making a decision. I'm not telling you you should buy it. I'm just saying it's a good example of like a feminine sort of soft K-pop look. Now, this one is a much more affordable option from Amaryllis Apparel. Amaryllis Apparel has my heart, and I'm just waiting for fall so that I can order a bunch of stuff because I've made like a couple of purchases, and I've basically reached my budget for summer and for spring and summer. So I'm waiting for like mid-September to hit, and then I'll be able to like think about making some fall winter purchases. But this is the Liliana dress from Amaryllis Apparel. This is a perfect like K-pop vibes dupe. It's got like the kind of larger florals. It's a kind of a really flowy dress, and it's off the shoulder. Off the shoulder is really big. Apparently we're in the 80s and 90s again. Also, animal prints, very, very reminiscent. So just like this model is pairing this leopard print cardigan with very neutral clothing, like just jeans, dark jeans, a white shirt. That's very reminiscent of kind of like that K-pop look too, just sort of the model off-duty look. Now, I love that this trend is happening. The sheer overlay with the Swiss dot, like the raised Swiss dots, and in this lavender color. This is a plus size clip dot mesh bodysuit, and that is from Forever 21. And I am so excited about it. One is from Forever 21. Again, I think they go up to 3X. Forever 21 sells out. I usually don't put links when I know that it's going to be a fast fashion website, and the nature of like these K-pop clothes, they just tend to only really be in fast fashion. The only caveat to that would be probably like there's an Eloquii collection that is very neon. I no longer shop at Eloquii or ModCloth because they are owned by Walmart. However, if that's my decision, but if you don't, Eloquii and ModCloth are very good quality clothes. The quality is very good. I would, however, probably buy them secondhand. I'd buy Eloquii and ModCloth secondhand on ThredUp. A lot of times people are looking to like get rid of their clothing, or they've changed sizes, or maybe they just didn't work out for them or whatever, and they're selling stuff on ThredUp. I have seen new clothes on there, and I've seen ModCloth and Eloquii a lot on there. So because it wouldn't be directly supporting that company, I think I would probably do that. But this beautiful trend of like the little kind of puff sleeves and the animal print, I'm usually not, I'm kind of softening my stance on animal print. I'm not a huge proponent of it, but this one in this kind of like burnished, like orangey red look, kind of digging it. I'm digging this velvet crop top here. Also at Shein is this lovely red sort of big poofy sleeved thing. Normally I am not a fan of the poofy sleeve. However, when done correctly and it doesn't look like there's a difference between just making like a larger sleeve with a few ruches and making like a truly ruched, like actually gathered sleeve. That there's a way to do it right and there's a way to do it wrong. A lot of people do it wrong. I think this particular piece is doing it right. Also, florals of all kinds are in K-pop. So this really pretty sort of daisy crop top, halter top would be very, very reminiscent of a lot of those styles that you see on those women. We also talked about how kind of like the schoolgirl look is in, but sort of not your traditional schoolgirl. There is some of that, but more of like wearing the tartan skirts and like more of like a clueless look. And so from loudbodies.com, we've actually talked about these skirts before, but I just wanted to mention them really quickly as an option if you were going to try and rock one of these K-pop trends. This might be a good option for you. Now, the again with the puffy sleeves and sort of I'm not sure how I feel about this puffy sleeve. I think it's really interesting because there's detail in the actual mesh, and I'm really drawn to this. I would call it sort of Edwardian inspired, and I'm drawn to that, but I don't love the kind of balloon sleeve at the bottom. I wish it was more gathered. But I don't know how I feel about it. How do you feel about it? I am kind of digging this this shirt with like the acid green and the snakeskin print. I'm kind of digging that. I don't love crew neck tops. Like, I feel like when something's up here, I'm just like, oh, no, I'm dying. Like, so I'm really more of a person who wants that. Like, I really would prefer like a V-neck or at least a scoop neck. I don't necessarily want to, I don't want it. Another thing that I think is really interesting, besides K-pop, there's like this whole phenomenon where people in like other countries are pretending, or they're like cosplaying, but like not really cosplaying, as like Hispanic sort of gangsters, like from LA. They're like called cholos, and they're trying to like rock a cholo look, and like basically they have like their own little cholo society, and I just think that's really interesting and like weird, because I grew up around people who were in that life and rocked that lifestyle. I am not one of those people, but there's a really interesting history to it. So if you ever want to know more about it, like just Google Chicano history, or Google like chola, like makeup or fashion or whatever, and like you'll go down a YouTube rabbit hole that is actually pretty interesting. But in K-pop, the trend is for these kind of like I would call it a Pendleton sort of look. So Pendleton's actually a name brand, and I didn't know this for the longest time. It's actually a really bougie brand located here in Portland. Like, it's from Oregon, but I knew like really hardcore like gangbangers who would wear these Pendletons, not realizing that that's like, it's like the equivalent of LL Bean, but it's even more hipstery because it's like more, it's way more expensive. Like, there's a Pendleton store in downtown Portland, and I've been into it, and it's like, oh my goodness, like it is. So it's the kind of store that would happen if lumberjacks like got oil money. Like, that's like that. I'm not joking. Like, I'm gonna have to do a vlog one day of just like weird downtown Portland, where I just bring you guys with me and Tarek, and like we just go around doing the weird stuff, where you can see the guy who rides around in a unicycle and Darth Vader outfit with flaming bagpipes. I'm not making that up. That's a thing. That's like a thing. But anyway, I find it interesting that like other cultures sort of like adopt this kind of persona, and sort of supposed to be like a more rebellious looking look, and like maybe a more grungy look. So, and I think it's also interesting that other like culture, or like other societal movements like borrowed that from like grunge rock, which is weird, but who knows? I don't know. This is really interesting to me. I really, really want this. This is $12, and it's this beautiful sort of like tube top, and instead of I think the sleeves are detached. I think you like pull up the sleeves, like up your arms. I am really interested in this. I don't know why. I'm not a ruffly person, but just the idea of the ruffles, like, it would be my mission in life to get the ruffles to go across evenly all the way. Like, I don't know why. I want to do that. I don't know why. That would not be interesting for you to watch, so like I'm not gonna film it. But yeah, I really want it. Again, there's this like kind of clueless. I keep hitting the camera. There's this kind of clueless overtone going, and this really beautiful tartan sort of wrap dress is where we're going to end things today, because of course we must pay homage to Cher Horowitz, who of course is the lead in Cher Horowitz, who is the main character in Clueless. And if anyone tells you that you as a plus size person cannot rock K-pop fashion, just tell them as if. Bye, lovelies. I hope you have an amazing Sunday. I cannot wait to hear what you think about these K-pop fashions. I can't wait to hear who your favorite K-pop band is. I need recommendations because I don't know anything about the actual music. Like, I know who BTS is, but that's about it. So if you know K-pop and you have a favorite group, leave it in the comments down below. And if you made it all the way to the end, congratulations. Put in the comments down below put whatever emoji you think represents K-pop down in the comments below. Thanks so much, lovelies, and I will see you on Wednesday.